Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika, and today we're going to be talking Below Deck Sailing Yacht. This is the last episode for Below Deck Sailing Yacht that I'm going to be doing before, well, technically the break has happened. We're in the middle of it, but I'm still going to be getting the episodes out to you that happened prior. So you're still going to get like this one. The B90 is still coming slowly but surely. And then we're also going to do the two last resort episodes. That's coming. And then that'll be it. So they'll be slowly coming. You'll probably get the majority of that next week. Then what else do I have? Oh yes. Love Off the Grid. That's supposed to be coming. Working on that as well. Just be patient with me on that one. They probably will get you'll get them. You will get them. But yeah, still working on that. But yes, the majority of stuff will be coming next week with everything that has been missed. Maybe over the weekend, we'll kind of see how that goes. But yes, you're still going to be getting stuff. But yeah, Below Deck Sailing, this is the last episode that you're going to be getting before the break. And then next, when we come back, we'll jump back in, do like the highlights of the episodes, because I think the episodes are going to be pretty juicy after. I'm sure it's going to be taking a break as well at some point. So, we'll get to that. But that's that. Let's get into the reason we are here, and that's Below Deck Sailing. So these guests that are coming on the boat, they want not 5-star service, not 6-star. That doesn't exist. They want a 7-star service, even though that too does not exist. I don't know. They seem nice enough, but they also seem pretty high maintenance, and that's annoying to me. But anyway, moving on. Danny is flirting hard with Chase. And honestly, I was actually talking to a coworker about it yesterday because I don't normally see her very often just because we have different days that we're in office. And I saw her yesterday. We had our office party. So we were talking about it because we would always talk below deck. And we're both on the same page here, and I feel vindicated. We're over Danny. It's the desperation of it all for me. I'm all about going out there and getting yours, like I've said. But when you're doing it selfishly, when you're doing it to the point where, yes, it's desperation, and you constantly need that validation from men instead of you should be validating yourself first and foremost. It's actually quite sickening to watch, and I can't take it anymore. She does the job, but the job for her seems to be all about having fun and this and that. And it's just but that's not what this is about. You're here to do a job. You're here to do a job. Now, when a Chase situation is concerned, yes, you flirted with Keith. That didn't go as planned. Whatever, because he's a professional and you couldn't handle him just not rejecting you, but rejecting you in the moment and saying, can we just be professional while on the job? That's not a rejection. That's just him setting boundaries, which I'm sorry, but she has none. And I don't think she respects people who do have boundaries. And then you hook up with Anthony, you have sex with Anthony, which fine, get yours. And you seem to be all about that. You're saying, oh, Anthony has a big dick and all of this, great. But then Chase comes on. Deanna's kind of making it known she's interested in him. My poor girl over here is being like, I'm horny. I haven't had sex. And here's Danny just being like, I'm going to get what I want and I don't give a shit about anybody else. It's selfish. Let the poor girl have something. My God. Anyway. Then the guests, moving on from that, the guests are getting ready for lunch or whatever. It's their first lunch on this charter, okay? Their first lunch. Their first meal. And one of the ladies is like, do we have to eat outside like all the time? Because that's going to be annoying for me. And I'm like, you're on a yacht where it's nice outside. It's in the middle of the day. Yeah? Like, I mean, listen, to be fair, it would annoy me too. I don't particularly enjoy eating outside. Um, but again, you're out in the open ocean, you know? As long as there's not going to be bugs bugging me, which that's the part for me that mostly it's the bugs. As long as bugs aren't going to bother me or it's not too windy, I think it was really windy. Was it windy? And that's, was I incorrect? I can't remember now if it was windy, but I know the boat was on a lean, was still sailing, but it's like, just eat outside. Or if you want to eat inside at any point, just tell Daisy. Like, you don't have to be this passive aggressiveness of, oh, that's gonna bother me. Anyway, moving on. Daisy forgot to order rosé, and I'm like, below deck med, is that you? It was very reminiscent of below deck med. Now that was a different situation. Aisha wasn't the one who screwed up. It was the people who bring the provisions. They screwed up. But it was the whole buying the wine. You're going to different boats saying, "Do you have rosé? Do you have rosé?" It was all that because that's what happened with Matt, if you remember. And I'm just like, wow. But she forgot. And again, Danny, she acts like she knows it all, which drives me absolutely bonkers. But she's like, how do you forget to order rosé with a boat full of women? Which I hear you, but accidents happen. Daisy is human, and shit happens. So anyway, we send Chase and Danny to go beg at a restaurant that they kind of found just kind of off in the distance. But guess what? That restaurant is closed. There's nothing else in sight. It looks like kind of how Danny was describing it. It's like there's no one around. So they have to kind of do like this when they go to like the different boats and everything. Then they find another bar place that they go to and are able to get rosé there. But while they were still like going to the first spot, she says to Chase, "Oh, I don't drink wine. I usually projectile vomit when I drink wine, just in case you were wondering." Bitch, no. Bitch, no, we weren't wondering. We never asked. Like, again, is this appealing to men? When women talk about projectile vomiting, and this is why I can't drink a certain thing or eat a certain thing, no one asked. Really, truly. I didn't ask. Chase didn't ask. No one asked. Like, it's it's not cute. It's not cute. I'm sorry, it's just not. Anyway, the ladies get moved from one table to the next table. This is for dinner. Because I think this was when it was windy, I believe. And they go down, they're changing tables, and Glenn's like, "Oh yeah, usually the wind dies down. I don't know what's happening. We're so sorry." And I guess for him to kind of, you know, ease the transition from one table to the next, because this could, piss people off. Does this, that you weren't planning ahead kind of situation. And I'm going to break this one down a little bit. When the transition happened from table to table, they were on the sun deck, they moved down to the bottom level. Still inside, but more covered, I guess, right? And Daisy tells Cloyce, give it a minute, they're moving from table to table. I'm not sure where the disconnect happened. And I know, okay, I think it was Danny who went down there and he asks, is everything ready to go? And she says, not sure, still kind of moving over, not sure how long it's going to take. There was a disconnect. And instead of Cloyce communicating with the person who's up there, watching the whole thing unfold, he's talking to Danny thinking, oh, you should have the answers. It's kind of something actually he says. and just goes and says, service, go give them the food. Meanwhile, the guests are getting told a really long story, by the way, from Glenn, which, Glenn, honey, shush, not now. Now's 'tis not the time. They're supposed to be eating. This was only supposed to go from one place to the next place, and you want to tell them a story, but I don't even know what. I can't remember what he was talking about. But either way, it's like someone needs to get in there but that's the thing. Close is thinking that Daisy, this person, I hate this. When he keeps talking about, oh, you have all this decades of experience. It's 12 and 12 years of experience, and how she should be able to get, shit done. But here's the thing. You can't interrupt the captain while he's telling this really weird, long story to the guests. You just can't do that. It's not right. Like, you can kind of get in there eventually and be like, okay, how about we sit, like, somehow transition from that to getting them to the table. But you can't just interrupt the captain. Really, you shouldn't be interrupting anybody, but you can't interrupt the captain while he's talking. You know what I mean? So what would he have wanted her to do? And again, this underhandedness of talking about how much experience she has, how much older she is, all of it is because he's felt rejected by Daisy, because he seems to be into her. And she ain't into it. I wouldn't be either. I'm sorry, like, I'm around her age, and maybe it's a couple years younger than her. I could not be with someone who's 22. I just couldn't. Absolutely not. No. Anyway, then, because Cloyce was complaining to Danny about the fact that Daisy, I guess, is not good with her timing or communicating with her. So guess what Danny does? Danny tells Daisy. Because partly, and I do kind of understand this, she kind of was trying to tell her he was a little rude with me, didn't know how to handle it. But here's also what he said, which pisses Daisy off. Like, and like, Glenn was catching wind of this, and he has to be like, not now, let's do this after dinner. But she kind of starts speaking. After that happens, she starts, because, like, again, I had to do the timing and the communication. She kind of gets a little passive aggressive with Cloyce, and she's like, we're walking to the table to clear. It's going to take about 5 seconds to walk to the table. Oh, we're coming from the table to the galley. It's going to take about 40 seconds for us to get to it. And he's like giggling because he has to know why she's doing it. And it was, honestly, it was freaking hilarious how she's like, it's gonna take this many seconds. Like, afterwards, she does say to him, listen, if you have something you need to talk to me about, talk to me. Don't talk to the girls. Don't like that you're being rude with them. Like, just talk to me about it and we will figure it out. But you not talking to me, A, isn't going to help the problem. And B, talking behind my back is going to add fuel to the problem. Again, your age is showing. Anyway, and then the next thing that happens, which was the next day, was one of the guests, I think it was the primary, if I'm correct, got stung by a goddamn jellyfish. Listen to me. Well, this is why I don't want to go into the ocean. I have been into the ocean, by the way. But this is why I don't want to. As an adult, I went as a child, but as an adult, I have not. This is why, okay? I don't want to be stung by a fucking jellyfish, okay? I just don't. They don't look cute like they do in Finding Nemo, okay? I don't want to be anywhere near a jellyfish. But this jellyfish just come and stings her. Now, listen, I know it's their turf, it's their home. We're impeding. I understand. But what the fuck was I doing to you? You had to come swim. I'm assuming it's a tiny one because you didn't see it. How? Okay, am I supposed to know that you're just, bobbing to me and then sting me? What did I do to you? You know what I mean? What did I do? Now, the thing that I didn't realize about this is that when a jellyfish stings you, it leaves a piece of its stinger in you, which well, that's what creates, but continues said stinging, even though it is no longer attached to said jellyfish. What in the fresh hell did I just hear? I didn't know that. See, that's another reason why I don't want to go into the ocean. The ocean is not for me. Listen, I love water. I like to swim. I'm not afraid of water. I'm afraid of the creatures in the water. It's a difference. So I was like, what in the God's name? No. So they have to like take this thing out, and you can see like how it's affecting her. Like, it is not an easy thing to watch. And they finally get it out, and it's this teeny tiny little thing. I don't know how he would have seen it. This teeny tiny little thing. I mean, Jesus Lord, I'm telling you, no. And she was in pain until they got that thing out. I don't think she's going back into the ocean. But yeah, it was not fun to watch. Um, but they dealt with it. It got out. It was fine. It was great. It's wonderful. But I do have the other question, which I don't feel like searching. I really don't. Like bees, do the jellyfish die once they sting you? Because or do they just have multiple stingers, and once they sting you, will they go on their merry way? Is that what, like, you know what I mean? I guess no, because jellyfish are one of the oldest creatures in the ocean. So with no freaking brains. But yeah, like I'm very curious to know if like, I mean, I guess no, that doesn't happen like it does with bees, but I'm just curious, like if their stinger is gone, like, do they have multiple stingers? Like, I'm so confused. I don't want to know, but I'm just very confused. But anyways, that is basically that. That is the end of Below Deck Sailing. That's the end of this episode. Again, we'll be getting out these other episodes out to you. Yeah, we'll get other episodes out to you as kind of time goes on. We'll be getting that done. But just be patient with me. It'll be done, and you'll have everything will be done. Everything's gonna be done. I promise. But anyways, that is it for this episode. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps, every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there, and you can find me there at www.realityteatimes2, all spelled out, .podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Week Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks.